Hey everyone, this is January 24th, 2025. This is the first day I've checked on the greenhouse since the frost that we had, starting, I guess, on Sunday, when everyone either got snow or just freezing temperature. So let's go in there and see how everything is doing. I'm going to need both of my hands possibly, so I might have to put this down. If not, let's see what we can do to get in there. All right. Woo. Alrighty. Here we are. It is warm in here today because the sun is out, but it looks like it did sustain a little bit of frost damage. This mango, you can see the tip is a little wilted. Here's the new growth on here. And it definitely took a hit, so I'm not sure how these will rebound back. You can see here, quite wilted. But the mango plant itself is still doing good. The butylon is doing good still. This is a coleus. It looks like the top part got freeze damage. Pineapple is still doing good. The lemon and lime, I'm pretty sure, are fine. Ooh, look at the damage to the coleus. So the temperature definitely got below 50. Because usually the coleus can withstand a little bit of cooler temperature, but it can't stand frigid cold. And you can see the coleus is definitely dying back, so I'm gonna have to come in, trim it back, and hopefully it'll push new growth. I don't think it did too much damage to the base, but definitely the new growth. This is one of the cutting that fell off, so I'm gonna have to take it and root it a little bit. This is the Egyptian guava. Looks like the tip of it sustained some damage. But otherwise, it's still doing good. You can see I think this is the orange. It's still flowering, so apparently the frost didn't nip it. The bougainvillea. Let me see if I can get closer. Looks like it took a hit with the frost. So they are definitely not frost hardy or cooler temperature hardy at all. So you can see they were flushing out really well, and they still have some flush. You can see it didn't damage all of the new growth, but it definitely has seen better days. I might prune it back once we get a little bit of warmer consistency temperature. Looking over here, these are the guava. It doesn't appear to have affected guava plant at all. So they are still doing good with their buds. Oops, there we go. And this guava is still doing good. Now, this guava is barely pushing out new flowers, so it's still doing good. Doesn't appear to be affected. The lychee. This, I believe, is the Sweetheart lychee. Let me see. Yes, Sweetheart lychee. It looks like it might have sustained some tip damage up here, but otherwise, it's doing good. This is a Glen mango, I believe. No, Valencia Pride mango. And I'm not sure if that's just damage in general. I don't know what from, but it looks like the new growth is still doing okay. The new growth from, this is the Thai guava. It looks like it took a hit over here. Ooh, let me turn on the fan in here real quick, just to help with the airflow. Hang on one second. Okay, so it looks like the Ruby Supreme guava New growth took some damage, so I'm going to have to come in and prune it right here. So next year what we might do is, instead of the 6mm, we might go up to the 10mm, and that should be good. I want to say the banana, this is the dwarf. I can't remember, but I know it's the dwarf variety of banana. Looks like it took some damage. But it's still alive, and that's all that matters for the moment. We're just trying to keep everything alive. I'm hoping that this is the last hard frost. This is the pineapple, which is looking good still. Maya lemon, still looking good. These are all the cuttings of the Ruby Supreme guava, still doing really good. The Mauritius lychee, still doing good. New growth, doesn't seem to be affected by the cold at all. The papaya is looking alright. These lower leaves, as it grows, comes off, so you just take them off. The fruit is still on there. Can you guys see that? The fruit is still on there, so that's good. It's got 1, 2, 3. A couple more flowers are coming out. Seems like there's a little bit of substance on that flower. You see it? Otherwise, it hasn't damaged the stalk itself, which is what I was worried about. They tend to get really mushy. Must retain a lot of water in there. So the little jackfruit seedlings, these are some of the little ones that I have. You can see when I transplanted it, it took some damage here, but you can see new growth popping up at the base. So that means they're still alive. Root system is still good. So we're just gonna leave it in there until we can get them outside. This is a cutting of the June plum, still looking good, sending out new leaf. The coconut palm plant is doing good. It's got some kind of, I don't know, damage that I'm not quite sure what it is. At the tip, it does look like it did sustain a little bit of coldness issue, like on this one here. But here's the new growth coming out. So it's still alive. The passion fruit is still doing its thing, getting bigger and bigger. Look at these leaves. This is my bigger June plum that produced quite a bit of fruit. Last year you can see new growth pushing out, so this year it's doing a lot better than the previous years I've had. You can see all these new growth pushing out. I'll just have to tip prune it right there. But I'm going to wait till it pushes out some more growth before I actually come in and tip prune. Here's a couple more new growth nodes you can see. So here is where the dead is. And then it's got new growth from there. So that's what's over here, is just cuttings and or seedlings that are growing. Back here, this is another Thai guava, but back here seems to be a little bit more insulated than the front. You can see the new growth over here. Doesn't have as much damage as the one in the front. So it could be that I need to move the guavas back here a little bit. Back here, closer to the fore side of the wall. Up there, you don't have as much. This is another jackfruit from a seedling. It's doing great. A little bit stressed on the leaves, but it's still alive, so that's good. This is the pomegranate. It's not cold hardy. That's why I have this one in a pot. It's sending out new shoots, starting to bloom again. So I would like to cut it back, prune it back, and actually repot that. So I might do that before it gets too bushy. We'll see. More of the jackfruit seedling, still doing good over here. I did another hard pruning back on the Meyer lemon. I think it just got too big, so I went and did a hard prune back on it. So now it's about 4 feet tall. And I'm just waiting for it to push new growth. Again, some more seedlings of the Ruby Supreme. I have a lot of seedling, and I'm not sure where I'm going to put all these because I can't put them all in these giant pots because I won't have room. This is probably the maximum it can actually keep all the fruit trees in here without being overly crowded, causing more issues with airflow. So I might put those up for sale come springtime. This is another June plum. It's doing all right. Definitely these are new growth here. But you can see it's stressed with dropping. So we'll just keeping it alive, I guess, until we get it outside. Another papaya. This one seems to be doing all right as well. Here are new flowers and new buds. Looks like I've got a little bit of issue with some, I don't know, yellow. It's like a white little, I'm not sure what that is. You see it on my tip? Nope, right there. And a little bit of black, but it's not, it might be some kind of fungus. I have to try to sort it out and see what it is. But the stalk itself is decently healthy. Okay, so I am kind of embarrassed to show you. This is the dragon fruit that I have. I have a smaller variety that is actually inside the area where we live in. And this is the old one that I got a long time ago. And I haven't really done a great job of training it. And even from training it, just keeping it alive, it's just kind of here. And it has a lot of issues. I've got the rust issue with it. You can see in all of the spores that are on here that eventually I just need to cut back, I think, and start over. But I started the trellis and then never topped it off, so there wasn't anything for it to go over. But it does look like there's a good healthy one down there, so I might cut everything back and start retraining it. I think the soil I have in here is too moist for this cactus. Even though it likes water, it doesn't want to, of course, be fully. Alright, sorry, I ran out of space, so then I had to delete. But you can see in here the soil is just pretty much too damp for the dragon fruit. So we're going to have to redo this whole entire thing come springtime. Here's this one too. It definitely has some new growth, but you can see here it's got this cactus rust. So I'm going to have to just remove that probably completely. Keep this one, it looks like it's doing a little bit better. So just prune that off. This banana tree is doing all right. I have to say the banana tree is struggling just because they have so much water in their trunk that when it gets cold, I mean, they get hit really hard. So we'll have to see how we're going to help that along. This is one of the water barrel that we put in here to help trap heat, and then as it gets cooler, whatever heat that is in there with the water would kind of help dissipate, make everything a little bit warmer. I don't know if I'm not sure if I need to be in here or put a thermostat in there and see what it actually, like how hot it got in the heat of the day, and then see if it actually affected it or not. But I think I'm pretty satisfied with how this Wallapini greenhouse has done, considering the frigid temperature we had. and no actual like heat that I have to put in this place. No electric bills for the heat needed to be used. So just a little bit of tip frost burn, but everything else should survive. So I'm happy for that and wishing that there is not going to be any more frost, but I'm pretty sure we're going to probably get one more and then it'll be springtime. So that'll be exciting, you guys. I hope you guys' plants are faring well in that frigid cold temperature we've just had. And here is to warmer, better days and springtime. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.